somebody from SDM. The last time we had somebody from SDM was Tigger. Was Alday. Yeah, Alday the leader. Yeah, Alday. We found out that Alday it belonged to Soy Brooks. He come off of that branch. Well, and the boy was on the ball. He was on the ball. Now see, guy, good soldiers now behind him. All right. So this I'm gonna use something this afternoon. I'm so used to just being the afternoon. The light is bright under the tree. Voila. So this morning on the Sandbox Lazy Bay Special, we got a member of the SDM, and this man we baptized him as the captain. Well, I just watching the head. I said as the name is coming. But you said so, but you could see look stumpy. Yeah. I call him the capster. The capster. Well, you just gonna say captain. The capster. Morning, captain.
Morning, Hector. Morning, Thomas. Welcome to Martin. This is Elvis Lewis, candidate number 5 on the St. Martin Development Movement. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, well, actually, that's all good already. Yeah, that's all good. I want to ask you one thing. How are you getting this? Because when I see you, I look, I see maybe music will be coming, some different thing into studio today as a youngster. I'm very happy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Thomas. Well, I have to tell you, it took a while for me to realize that fighting for my country was something that I couldn't avoid, especially after the passing of Hurricane Irma. I definitely decided what the leaders show us that they're capable of. The younger generation of St. Martin believe we deserve better. And I ain't the type of person that's going to complain about something for long. I'm going to take action. So I joined one of the best teams possible for a young candidate in the St. Martin Development Movement. And here we are today, getting ready for Monday.
Well, listen, you got to join in a one. It's the best team. You got to explain what we got. And, you know, when you're young, a lot of the bigger parties like the young, strong-minded ones. Why you pick SDM? What's the downside of that you didn't see the others?
Well, number one, the thing that definitely had me interested in the St. Martin Development Movement is the fact that what we stand for is something that I know St. Martin as. That's a grassroots identity issue with St. Martin, and what the St. Martin Development Movement stand for, as what I understand, is the development of the communities and equal sharing of the wealth of this island, and that's something that's been lacking for a long time in St. Martin. And the other parties, they have done things for the island over the years. However, as far as I see it as a young candidate going on those parties, the voters that vote for you as a young candidate on those other parties have to also be realistic, knowing that the chance of them seeing you in the role that they want you to be is very small. And it's sad to see it going in that direction.
Nobody, listen, I want you to repeat what you just said, because nobody can catch on to what you just said here. What you just said here is a big bucket of water, and I want you to repeat that what you just said here. You want it sing, yeah.
Yes, it's important for me to explain to the voting population that as a young candidate, if you seriously trying to get involved and make a difference, you need to go with a team that would put you there when you collect the vote. So St. Martin Development Movement as a new party, the Great Party, standing for unity in the community and in improving your quality of life, I see that as a better opportunity for me to express myself and be able to defend the rights of my people, the St. Martin people, than going on a bigger party that would basically use me for votes. And when the time comes, even if I get a certain amount of votes, I might not be in a position where the people choose for me to go.
If I understand why you said that on 30 votes already, they're free already. And then, you know, you still hear song like, when you hear that song just like the stuff too, I know maybe when you have for the tree. When you look at that St. Martin after the game, that will make you get involved, really.
Definitely.
So it was so bad that you just had to get involved.
Yes, the thing about it is, it wasn't just the fact that Irma had passed, it's also the fact that before Irma, the country wasn't doing all that good. You know, but we were giving the government in place a chance to say, okay, they had promises. I remember in 2016, the former leader of the National Alliance promised the people of St. Martin we're going to stop ship jumping. and we all sit back and say, all right, these guys get a chance to fix the problem, and these experienced people. And I did some research and some reading, and then you understand what they propose was dead on arrival, and these are the experienced ones, the intelligent ones, the ones that's the veterans, the one that say they walk in. I mean, where's the results? So we definitely coming to the voters and telling them, if you want a difference, you got to choose for something different.
What the voters, what the population of their tell now? When I go up and I talk to them, what the community telling you?
Well, for us, you have two things. You have the ones that can't see past the situation they're in right now. That is dire situation. I mean, a lot of people still getting wet when it rains. As you see how the weather is a lot windy, so the tarpaulin ain't always stable. A lot of people out of jobs, and the solution ain't seeming nowhere in sight. I mean, you're hearing a lot of things in the news, in the newspaper, on the radio, but the reality on the ground for a lot of people is still the same like Irma hit yesterday, and it's rough to see that. Exactly now we have to be dealing with an election, but it's also an opportunity for the people to say, well, all right, you had all your chance, and now we're going to give somebody new a try.
You choose a team there, SDM, we just say why. But no, I think that's the team where guy got full sleep. They don't have 23. How is that? How did that come about? What? Is it done purposely, technically, tactically?
I think the St. Martin Development Movement is definitely a selective party. They have certain things we're looking for in candidates and certain commitment we're looking for from candidates. And it's better to have a smaller team that is united than a large team that is segregated. And it's important that the voters pay attention to those kind of things.
He come out for good stuff. He always say, when you look at it good, my God, yeah, these thing are much ladies united. Yeah, how come?
Well, the funny thing about it is whenever I hear that subject come up, I gotta laugh because if they know who the real bosses are in SDM, they understand that there's women at the head.
This is the woman in the background.
The women are the real ambassadors, the real captains directing this ship, and St. Martin Development Movement is definitely going places.
Now, how long this party existed that run the last Eli, but you wasn't with him?
No.
You just follow the progress of how they were doing all that?
Yes, I was actually very surprised how the party did in 2016, but also I respect what they was trying to do because as the leader said in 2016, if the voters don't choose something different, we're going to be here again for another election in a short time. It is like he was clairvoyant because we are here in 2018 and another election, and depending on how the voters choose, 2019 we could maybe be here again. So it's very important for us to get the message out there to the voters to make them understand that this time around, please vote with knowledge, with wisdom, and not off of tradition.
Well said. What kind of parliamentarian, because it's a parliamentarian election, what kind of parliamentarian you would be? Because, there are some of them that you don't hear talk much, but they talk between the other parliamentarians. You got they want to stand up and pound the table. You got those that don't say nothing at all. You got those that attack ministers. What characteristic you want to bring to the parliament?
Well, not only me myself, but I think whoever from the SDM slate gets into parliament, what you will get is professionalism. You will get production, you will get effort, you will get results on the fact of producing documents, producing proposals, and also communication across the different branches within the government system network.
What's some of the issues? Because there are many. What's some of the issues that you and your party and the leader that are you feel passionate about, that are you want to go in there and defend?
Well, for me, first of all, I gotta say that the stability in government is for me number one, and that ties in also to the first subject in our manifesto, which was launched on last week Sunday. We want to create a stable political system, and also that would lead to a investors climate that can help boost the economy. Because if you're an investor and you say you want to put your money someplace, you want to make sure that the people who you meet the first time, you come back a year later, you meet the same people. And the way how the chair has been moving around in different positions, you can see that that's not the case, and it's hurting the island as well. So definitely stability in the government and in the politics, that's something that St. Martin Development Movement wants to bring to the community of St. Martin.
That's one of the first things.
Yes.
But that ain't the only thing that got a lot more.
Oh, yes.
Let me hear from you, man.
Yes, well, next to that, what we want to do is see that the communities of St. Martin elevate to a new level where the commerce and economy going on in the different communities is contributing to the island's GDP as a whole, not just that everything is focused on Phillipsburg and Maho and Simpson Bay. We believe that the different districts and neighborhoods have something to offer the economy as well, but they need to be enticed and encouraged in that direction. And that's
so areas like St. Peter, the Quantum, Middle
Exactly, because those areas have people with ideas, but what happens is the opportunity is lacking, and it has been lacking for some time. So again, we try to explain to the voters that if you want something different, you have to choose for something different, because your grandmother maybe did like a politician because he did something good for her in those days, but you are not your grandmother, and your situation is not her situation. So you have to be honest with yourself and see where you want to go.
The boy good. I gotta see the boy. Tell me the boy good. He's batting the ball. Yeah, batting the ball here this morning. Yeah, he hit me run straight. One of the big topics everybody talking about, of course, in the Gale hit, no job. Your no job is coming because one kind of job when we come because they get nowhere. Yeah, the reconstruction. Everybody's on the reconstruction. What's the SDM plan to bring back jobs in St. Martin?
Well, definitely jobs is a very crucial thing right now at the moment. Whether it's the government collecting taxes or SZV collecting premiums, you name it, it's a problem, and it's going to keep growing if we don't come up with something in the meantime to say move the country forward. And St. Martin Development Movement, we have an approach of when it comes to the private sector, we're talking about the hotels, the restaurant, the HORECA, our main tourism facets that play a role. We're seeing that we need to avoid another Malabar situation. That is something that we're looking at, and we're saying, guys, as much as we want to venture into other economies, we have to solidify our tourist product, which means follow up with the hotels and the different businesses that have closed, because I have spoken to many voters in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of them has been saying that different hotels where they were working just closed, and they say they're not open back for the next 2 years. Now, not only is that hurtful for the person that lost their job, but for the economy as a whole, for the island. You know, a lot of things depend on our tourism product, and we definitely seeing that we need to get the insurance companies and make sure that the hotels commit to St. Martin, because they have also been given tax breaks and incentives to come to St. Martin and do business. So we also have to make sure that they hold up their end of the responsibility. Of course, it's a negotiation that would have to take place, and the St. Martin Development Movement believe that St. Martin has enough qualified people to try to, secure the hotels that are still here, that they can open back as soon as possible. It's important that we work on that. And also, as a construction guy myself, because I didn't really go too much into detail about that, but I have a degree in civil engineering. You know, I went to school, I learned my trade, and one of the reasons that well invest. Yes. So when it comes to building back the island, that's another thing that got me really involved, because I see that we have the chance of getting hit with another Irma in 6-7 months' time. You have to be realistic about that. And we're seeing that building back is already starting to happen in certain areas. It's important that we build back right, because before Irma, you had all kind of people coming to Martin saying that there's builders and building constructions, and you see what
building crap.
and you see what happens, you know. And I can tell you, as a local St. Martin, if you try to go and build anything anywhere on that side, as a local St. Martin, you have some serious requirements to fulfill to get even the building permit. You know. And,
well, welcome to Margot as well.
Okay, but look at what happened to the hotels. How were they built? Who was checking that? You know, this is something that is of importance to our economy, and normally those are the places that have to be strong, because remember, we have tourists, we have guests staying in those buildings, and you know, if it was worst case scenario, we could have lost guests losing their lives in a hotel room that we approved, you know, and we need to look at that going forward, and it's important that we have the right people with the right intentions in positions to make sure that we secure that for the people of St. Martin.
Nobody say that, though. When I take a little look down at the Mao, oh yeah, and I see how the so-called wall blow out, I suppose I was leaning up on there, doing a little so-and-so. I was gone. They say only when wind blow, you see for poop. Well, there you see the hotel poop. There you see the hotel poop. She being exposed. Go ahead. The captain, I want to continue this conversation. It's very interesting talking to this young man, you know. The roof, like you say, in the next few months, we back in gale season. Yep. A lot of roof off. What SDM could do about that?
Yes. Now, when it comes to the public sector, we're looking at the people that lost their homes. A lot of our seniors have been in bad situations before the storm, before Hurricane Irma. You know, whether it's their pension that was really under the minimum wage, under the living standards, basically, which is, of course, one of the worst things that could be in St. Martin, especially when you know how hard St. Martin people work to build this island to where it's at. And then also you have people saying that they were working, you know. So we have to really, really open our eyes in this election and really pay attention to what we're going up against. And yes, it's important that the St. Martin development movement get our message out there that when it comes to housing, damaged roofs, we are looking at a combination of things. We're looking at, depending on the people, if they have insurance, underinsured. We're looking at soft loans for people that have insurance, but the insurance can't cover it. And we're seeing where we can work together with the aid that is possibly coming from the Netherlands in combination with the banks, making something possible for the people of St. Martin. So on that end, that's where we're looking at when it comes to providing roofs back for the people, but also it ties into our infrastructure as well. You know, as an infrastructure specialist, I definitely see that it's the roofs is one thing, but the road networks. I mean, after a hurricane, you know, most of the time you can't reach to certain areas, different things damaged, and it's important that we look at that and plan for that in all our areas, because we know for years that we're in a hurricane region. And when I look at our infrastructure, especially as somebody that studied in the Netherlands and know how to build roads, you're seeing that we got a lot of work to do, and we need the right people in there to do that work.
What about the electricity, those lampposts and those cables flying all over? How you seeing that plan?
Well, I have to give the departments, I think it was the Rummy department as well, in connection with GB, etc., that they did a very good job over the last couple of years on the Dutch side when it comes to putting the networks on the ground. So you have to give credit where it's due. They definitely did a good job in that, but you know, there's still areas that need to go underground, and I see that after Irma they are working on it. So give them credit for that, but we need to do more, because what end up happening with construction, if you don't plan properly, you're going to dig up the road to put the cables on the ground, and then a couple of months later you realize you got to put something else on the ground, you got to dig it up again, and that's a waste of money.
And you know who said that? Sleepyard said that. Sleepyard say, yeah, did a paint to do up. Because you guys go back and go and dig back up again, do back on the same old thing what you had do before. So you become a digging, you become a digging specialist. Let me get your opinion on this, young captain. The Dutch had said, listen, begin at 550 million. But that's the kind of money I got normally in my own pockets when I do it. But they said they gave 550 million. And then they say, yeah, but to come with condition, and take a boat and be one immigration. You think that was fear, or you think that there's a misunderstanding? In your opinion?
I could definitely speak for myself when it comes to that, and I like to use the Dutch word when it comes to the aid. In Dutch, they said noodhulp. Now, noodhulp is basically translated as very needed aid or emergency aid. And I definitely see the money that is coming as aid. However, the emergency part is where I question it, because if you call the ambulance because your life is in danger and you looking for a quick response, and the ambulance say, well, yeah, you're supposed to fix my fence from since last year, so me coming to save your life until you fix the fence. You know, that's basically the kind of negotiation that went down.
You got dead first, fix the fence, come back alive, go back sick for them to come pick you up.
That's basically what went down, but again, that was caused because we didn't do our part of the negotiation. Now, I have when I decided to get involved in politics, the first thing I decided to do was go and read. And reading into our constitution, they speak about integrity. We had to establish something for integrity since 10-10-10, and I guess it didn't happen. So Holland is saying, no, we want to make sure that this is in place because you all been fouling up. So get this in order. And according to me, agreements was made that they're going to do it, but every time it keep getting pushed back. So
according to the Leaf, the former prime minister was in Holland in July. And he had come back and said that that's a done deal, and it was supposed to be implemented somewhere in October.
Exactly.
So if that was the case, then why they bring it back on the table as a demand for the 50 million?
Well, you know, in dealing with Europeans, you have to understand that they're very black and white. They're very straight to the point, and if you make an agreement with them, they're gonna expect you to follow through. Nothing wrong with that, because that's the negotiations that are gonna happen. If Martin need to reach to another level, you have to be able to negotiate with Europeans. And if you tell them you're gonna do something, you have to do it. So as far as the integrity chamber is concerned, he was already going to do it, so basically just finalize it. It's not a problem. I mean, we were going to do it anyway. However, the questions that were asked, according to me, was more on what would be in the integrity chamber. And that's, again, now, if you tell somebody you're going to do something, and then when time come, you ain't getting it do. After a while, they're going to remind you, and basically being part of the kingdom, you know, they got certain standards you have to live up to, and St. Martin was not living up to them, so then that is what you would get, you know. So I definitely think that the integrity chamber is an issue that is not that large. It's something that we already agreed to do. It's just to get it done. Now, the part that surprised me is the border control, because we definitely have an immigration problem on that side. There's no doubt about it. And again, it points to us not doing our work properly, and then Holland comes in and slap you on the finger and say, well, you know something, you can't handle immigration, I'll take it out of your hands. You know, but again, this is why the voters also need to understand that we have people that saying that they were working for us, but Holland has to come in and clean up some of the work because, you know, it was not in order. So,
but the government have to fall for Holland to come and say they want to do this and they want to make the mouth big and all that. The government have to fall for that to happen.
Well, not necessarily, but what happened in Statia recently is also a warning for St. Martin, you know. You're part of a kingdom, and it comes with rights, and also it comes with responsibilities.
Obligation,
yes, and if you have mature people that understand the situation, they're not going to take it lightly. And as far as the integrity chamber is concerned, we were not really performing. That's why they basically forced it on us. And the border control, I mean, our immigration situation is really out of control. And the French side and all is feeling the effects of it. So we have to look at that. And, you know, it's something that comes back to the professionalism and the maturity of the leaders understanding the responsibility that come with the role. I mean, like I said, I did my research on some of the things that is actually obligation to the government. The government have certain obligations to the people of St. Martin, not only to have the border secured and stuff like that, but also when it comes to the chapter of solidarity, which is one of the things that is for me very important, because solidarity in our constitution is talking about having enough jobs for the people, enough housing for the people, enough welfare for seniors and handicaps and youths, and you're seeing that these is things that's actually very good, but you're not seeing it on the ground, you know.
It's in the constitution, but it's not being apply?
Well, I mean, if you look at the minimum wage, that is I think around 1,300 guilders, and then the pension is around 1,000 guilders for some, and rent is most times around 1,000 guilders and up. So you're basically left to fend for yourself, and it's a question that we need to look at. When we're going to vote, ask yourself, if somebody tell you, okay, I'll give you a house, but thing I have no fridge, no bathroom, no kitchen, but live there. You send them in an awkward situation, and you don't look back. You don't say, well, all right, this is a priority, because one of the things that happened after the hurricane, they were supposed to call a state of emergency so that the military could get involved and protect certain assets for the people of St. Martin. And I think they should have called a state of emergency for the pension and for the minimum wage and for the abuse of the 6 months contract. Those are things to call a state of emergency, because people living in bad situations before the hurricane. It's before the hurricane. And not to say that I want to just point fingers, but it is a reality on the ground, and if they come out and say, listen, we were trying our best, but we didn't get nothing to do for you, I could understand that better. But you have people going out there saying, we was working hard for you. So, I mean, you can't have a mechanic tell you fixing your car still mash up. That can't work.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best you could do.
Okay.
That's basically the best you could do.
So it's up to the voters to understand that if your mechanic can't fix your car, it's time to take it to a new garage. SDM is here.
It's up to SDM to make them understand that it's SDM, the mechanic you got come call. Yes. Let the song say if something's changing in your neighborhood, we will call Ghostbusters, right?
Yes, sir.
So if something's changing your government, we will vote for it as SDM.
Yes, that's right.
The falling path of the government. When you listen to those that partner up for the government to fall, it was all based on the fact that they said that the former prime minister was playing tit for tat with the Netherlands, and this much needed aid had to reach because it was St. Martin, and St. Martin needed this. The game got about 5 months since the hit. The former prime minister ain't there no more. Very aid.
Yes, that's the reality we live in, and the promises were made, statements was made, and the results on the ground is the results on the ground.
Can you say these people, this black and white, they just live up to obligation?
Yes.
So very aid.
Exactly. So that's the people that negotiated. That is the ones that have to give you those answers.
But the one that negotiate get kicked out.
So that's why the people of St. Martin have to pay attention to what's going on. I think one of the most important things that needs to come out of this election is we have a educated, up-to-date voting population. I think we need that in St. Martin more than anything, because where the country is going, we really need to look at it very seriously. And St. Martin Development Movement, as a new party, definitely looking at being more professional than what we have had. Again, when we look at whether it's getting legislation passed or making sure that the ministries work for the people, it's time for the population to realize that, hey guys, we need to try something different. We have to open our eyes. We have to emancipate ourselves. And those are things that the St. Martin Development Movement is offering, not only in the lead of Mr. Benjamin Ortega, but we have our number 2, Mr. Arthur Butte. We have our number 3, Raymond Matzo. Number 4 is James Raleigh Busby, and number 5, myself. We bring different strengths to the government.
All professional, all the name you call those professionals.
Yes. Mr. Ortega, of course, is also an engineer. He's working at the harbor at the moment. Mr. Butte is. This is a man that has a vast experience. This man worked with the Chamber of Commerce, the Social Economic Councils. Now, I have to touch on the councils for a little while because this is something very, very important to me. Now, if you understand that St. Martin, our government was set up in such a way that we have councils that give our government advice on problems that's going on. The government can ask the councils for advice, but the councils can also solicit unsolicited advices to the government. So they can offer advice for a certain situation. And when you look at it and you see that the councils are putting things together. I mean, quality documents, and then you hear the politicians will say that, yeah, well, the reason we couldn't pass laws is we don't have enough lawyers or the right legal team within Parliament.
I hear somebody say that yesterday. We would do it with World Bonds. I think those agents, Sasco, was saying that some of them in the government saying that they ain't got enough law people.
Yes, but I find that, the situation is we need management in Parliament so that the government can work better. And one of the things a manager does do.
Whoa, now by God, why you ain't mean catch on what you just said here?
One of the things a manager does do is put the best people in the right position and make sure that everybody perform properly. For me, I can't speak for the entire party. I can speak for me. Having read our constitution, and I see that we have some clauses in our constitution that say that we can actually add different tasks to these councils. Now, these councils is a set of different experts coming together, dealing with the issues, brainstorming, and coming up with the best possible solutions for the island. We're paying them to do that. You're telling me that we can't pay them to say, guys, we have an issue with short-term contracts, propose that. They made reports on those things, but what have been done with them? You understand? It's important that the people understand it's not just about going in Parliament and shouting, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. It's also important to manage the situation. And I see that the councils are something very underappreciated in St. Martin. I'm just going to say it like it is because that's how I see it. They are professional people, they are skilled people, and if you need to add one or two legal persons to those teams, because we have the Council of Advice, we have the Social Economic Council, and we have the Ombudsman. I mean, if we put the legal minds there and then we make them work, or how you say, can't say make them work, but we, request for them to produce documents that can aid the government in producing the legislation needed for the people of St. Martin, I think they'll be open to that. And it's important that the voters understand that we need innovative management in our parliament and in our government. And you're not going to get that from the people that have been there all these years.
Don't do it already.
Exactly. Because they're telling you they want to bring the legal team into parliament. That's what they're saying. But why not work together amongst the different departments and ministries we have in the government, because what is happening in our government is a symbol of what's happening in the community. The left hand don't know what the right hand doing because they're not communicating, and that's costing us not only money, but it's making us look like an embarrassment in the region. Because I mean, St. Martin, I know myself in the 90s we could have bragged about St. Martin to the other islands. Now the other islands looking at it, why don't end up like St. Martin, So it's important that
we're in a bad position.
It's important that the voters understand that I have produced a document. It's called the Election Preparedness Kit. I would love for every St. Martiner that can vote to read this document before voting, regardless of which party you're going to vote for. Just download this document on the Facebook page of St. Martin Development Movement and read it and make an educated choice on Monday the 26th of February.
So you go on the Facebook.
Yes.
And then you type in
St. Martin Development Movement. You should find the page there.
And when the page show up, the document, what the name of it?
Election Preparedness Kit.
And then you just press the thing and then
you should be able to download it, or it sends you to a link where you can download it. It's very important because it basically puts together what has happened since 2010. I mean, we can look at before then, but we was in a different status before then, so I just try to focus on the status that we have. It's similar to the situation on the French side with the Article 74. We have a new status, however, we're not perfecting our performance in it. All the experts that you speak to say, no, this is a good system, but we have proven that we can't work with it yet. And that's where I'm saying on the Dutch side, we have a new status, we have a new constitution, and we can do more with it if we have innovative management within our parliament. And that's what St. Martin Development Movement would like to do for the people of St. Martin.
I feel the boy. Why is that right there? Know what he's saying? Look at it. The white Fagon. He's a builder. I'll say Fagon. The boy is checking on the foundation to be steel strong to climb up the blocks. That's what he's saying. Now here's a black question for you. How much candidate I got on the SDM?
5 candidates.
Five.
5 strong candidates.
5 strong. So even if all 5 I get in a majority,
Yeah.
basically why he's saying it, you want to be what type of party in this election because to could be there. I don't know to look like maybe coalition.
Well,
the way the setup.
But I have to say that the system that we have is basically set up to produce coalitions. And coalitions don't have to be a bad thing if the people in the coalition are mature and professional. However, we have proven over the years not to be professional and mature. So that's why people say they don't want a coalition.
But 8 years, I mean, in 10 years, we know 8 years. In 8 years, you got what, 6, 7 government.
Exactly, but with the same players. With the same players, and that's what
here we go again.
That's what the St. Martin Development Movement is saying to the voters. That it's important that you give some different element to the structure of your parliament going forward, you know, and whether it be the St. Martin Development Movement, the Christian Party, the PPA, it's important that the St. Martin people, the voters, remember that there's another option, and the other traditional parties have all had the chance to work together, whether it was one in the majority or the other one in opposition. They have all had the chance to work together. So if you vote for those parties expecting a different result, you know, it would be really embarrassing.
That way you call it somebody, a bowl of milk fella tell me the insanity or craziness is when you keep doing the same thing all the time and expect a different result. Oh, yeah, I get it. But you're doing the same thing, the same way, the same how, and expecting different result. That we call craziness. The craziness is when you look, they got a little part of a selfishness in it too. As I said, Matt, now the other day newspaper come out and said 34% St. Martin born in voters. How you feel about that?
I think it's very good that you touch on that subject because having read the Constitution, again, the Constitution is just one of the systems that we have within the network of our laws and our structures, but is a good orientation to understand where you're supposed to go. And when you look at what the Parliament's supposed to do, the first thing it says that the Parliament is supposed to represent the entire people of St. Martin. That, if I understand the word good, that means it's not just the voters. But when we look at our population, the voters is a very small group within the entire population of St. Martin.
Roughly 20,000 people.
You understand? And this is something that we also need to look at. Is that really democratic? You know, I mean, this is conversation you're not hearing from other people, but this is, if you read and you understand, you're going to see that, hey, you know, we need to question things. And that's also what St. Martin Development Movement wants to bring to the Parliament, that we read the documents, that we question things, that we make it clear for the people of St. Martin. So we're also asking the people of St. Martin, give St. Martin Development Movement a chance so that things could also be clearer for you. And that's also one of the reasons that I produced this document, because I read it, I understand it. Now, some people could disagree with what I have put there in the document, but at least we're having a conversation and things come out in the open. Because when I had made a chart, and in that chart, one of the first things I do is it has basically the structure. You have the voters at the top, then you have your parliament, then on one side you have the governor, and then you have the council of ministers. And I asked people, who is the most powerful in this pyramid? You know, people would say the Prime Minister, the Minister of Justice. Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm going out speaking to people, asking them to vote for me, asking them to vote for St. Martin Development Movement, and this is what they are saying. So we've seen already that our people have been miseducated or uneducated from the leaders that were there, and St. Martin Development Movement wants to clarify things for you, make things clear that you can make a better decision. You know, regardless of which direction you go, having the information, you already win half of the battle.
We talk about a lot of things that we know, something that I hear they touch on. What boss in the agent says good. But that was Anguilla Love yesterday. Yeah. Though something what they bring up the wall at you about it too. The salaries of the parliamentarians. A lot of people are saying that it is the highest in the kingdom, something like that.
Yes, it's definitely very high.
It's very high. While you views, you think that it's what the salary of parliamentarian and the two overpaid, that's why you ain't getting much production.
I can tell you, as a family that has experience in business, and I started my own business in 2017 as well. I can tell you, if you're offering quality,
you lose a good one, you got the own.
If you're offering quality, people don't mind paying for it. Nobody complain about the price of a Mercedes Benz or BMW or Rolex watch. They know they're getting quality. The problem is we have been paying
and not getting the quality.
So again, that's why we come back to the voters. We want to bring the numbers and the names and the titles and the information that can make you see, well, hey guys, we spent just on salaries alone $21 million over the last 7 years, and that's not including the people that were sent home with pay. You know, these are the kind of numbers that you will see in the document if you read it, and then it explains you where that number come from. You know, and then again, when you look at the responsibilities, because I talked about the rights, we have rights as being part of the kingdom, but we have responsibilities as well. Human rights is one of the things that the Dutch kingdom takes a lot of pride in. And if you look at the treatment of our seniors, it's completely against human rights. You know, they have associations that come out and protest against these things, but the reality on the ground is still the same. And we definitely, as St. Martin Development Movement, the new party, the Great Party, trying to offer the people of St. Martin something different for a change. And hopefully they see the need for change and choose for that on Monday, the 26th of February.
No, exactly. Monday is just around the corner. A place like a safe haven. What do you think about it? Because it seems like they are not getting enough support along from what we've been seeing. For example.
Yes, you touched on a very, very important point there. Not only the safe haven, but that's of course one of the crucial departments that are trying to do the right thing for many people that are in difficult situations. But you could look at also our mental health foundations.
Yes.
You know, we have a lot of situations that need working on in St. Martin, and the support will not come if the structure is not in place. And we have issues with our tax collection or tax compliance. And we have issues with our pensions, the way how the people are paid. Not only that you're getting a small amount of money, but sometimes the timing of when the money comes. It's we have to be also looking at the consumer. Again, the government is there to serve the people. And look at the
performance.
Yeah, look at the performance. I mean, I have lived in the Netherlands for 11 years, studying, getting my degree.
Feel sorry for you. You live all them years up there, boy, without Johnny Cake, without a decent chicken leg.
Well, the chicken leg, yeah, that was out of the question. But Johnny Cakes, one thing you can say, you can't take the Caribbean out of somebody.
Okay.
Once you have that in your roots, no matter where you go, your culture will follow you.
Okay, but that made me feel a little better.
Yes. But what I was trying to mention as well is that in the Netherlands, when you go to get a new ID card or you go to get your passport renewed. These are things that are very simple. Sometimes it could be done in a day, sometimes done in a week. And we are not operating in an efficient way in St. Martin. And that costs not just the government money, but the people. I mean, if you have a job and you take your lunch break, so you're going to go and get something organized by the government, I mean, you could basically tell yourself lunch break and more gone, and you know the situation already with how the businesses are treating a lot of their employees. It's rough, and I'm out there on the streets on the campaign trail meeting with the people, and a lot of people are actually very fed up. I mean, when you go and you talk to somebody for the first time, you say, what are you talking about? Election? You don't want to hear nothing. No. Nothing gonna change. Nothing gonna change. When the people coming to you and talking to you like that, you understand how hopeless they may feel, to not even be interested in hearing anything about politics. And if you know the effect of politics on your daily life, politics affect everything. It affects everything. So if you don't want to have nothing to do with that, you don't give up already. But that's the difference between me and a lot of people. I mean, when I see my country in a bad situation, that was the time I decided to step up.
Now you see when the going get tough, when you see the going get tough, the tough get going, something like that.
Yes, that's right. And I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily tough, but I think that I have wisdom, I have common sense, and I think I joined the right team. Definitely as a young candidate, if I want to make a difference to my country, I think St. Martin Development Movement is. I think a lot of the young candidates on the other party should have been with SDM because they would have a better chance of actually getting into Parliament, regardless of how much votes they get. And for myself, I think that it was a wise choice, and I think the people of St. Martin also should vote wisely, regardless if they vote for SDM. They definitely have to vote with wisdom this time because the talks is nice, but if you realize that some of them will say, we haven't been hearing from SDM, are you in quiet? Well, I have to say this as a first time candidate going up for elections. It's not easy when you have to go and try and advertise yourself in a newspaper or on a radio station or on a website. These things cost money, and if the country was prospering before the hurricane,
maybe
you would maybe hear more from SDM, but the reality is it's not easy, when you hear certain prices for time on the air, and you notice that you're hearing the same voices over and over on the different stations. Then it's important for the voters to understand. Listen, they are not just being invited to come on the radio. It's something that comes along with it, and realize that plays into it. The media has a big role to play in St. Martin, and I would like for the people of St. Martin to be conscious of that. Be conscious of that. The media playing a role as well. So do your reading, do your research, and make an educated choice on February 26th.
So because on the screen, you're on the scene. Yeah, off the screen, you're off the scene. You're off the scene. In a field where you're coming from. But if you have a little choice that, let's say, one of those sort of a big party, I'd say, call the captain, the young captain over by them. You want to go?
I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not too sure about that because, again, you have to look at what the party stands for. I have to say, St. Martin Development Movement, that's one thing. I mean, from number 1 to number 5, we all very, very clear on that. We want the communities to rise. Not just Phillipsburg, not just Maho, not just Kupakai. I mean, we want the communities to rise. I mean, we have a lot of brilliant minds with talent. We look at the musicians. What kind of support are they getting? Look at the athletes. Look at the athletes. I mean, these are things that you can't measure how much profit you can get out of pushing a young fella into music or into sports. However, if he succeeds on an Olympic level or international level, the advertisement he brings back for the island, is underestimated by our leaders over the years. I mean, when you look at the talent we have, whether it's in dancing, we have somebody like Nicole DeWeaver. When you have sports, somebody like Kissy Carty, the young fella that was doing very good in cricket. And these are people that from St. Martin, but I think there was a very challenging road for them to reach where they are. But again, Caribbean people are very strong people, and I have to say I love the fact that I'm from St. Martin. It's one of the best islands in the region, and I think it's worth fighting for. So here I am, and trying to defend whatever is left for the people of St. Martin.
Now the man said this: election is Monday. You get elected. What's the first thing you do? You hear the result.
Mm-hmm.
The young captain name is called as being a parliamentarian for the SDM. What's the first thing? What's the first plan of action? What do you do as the first parliamentarian for the SDM?
Well, the first thing that's going to happen, depending on how much seats we get, we have to look at who are the possible parties that we can work together with in a coalition, because we have to be realistic with the numbers. We would have to work together with somebody and see what they stand for, So at that moment, then we would cross that bridge and say, all right, what do you guys stand for? We go into negotiations and we see where that process leads.
But I gotta go back to what you said just now. I gotta rewind the tape. You had just said just now, the same players.
Yes.
Remember you tell them that what they said with the same players because now the government will cutting up all the time.
Yes.
So also they're gonna be watching you now to see what you gonna do if you might end up in a coalition with them same players, because that would mean that you ain't learn your own lesson, if you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
No, well, the reality of the situation is, regardless of who the people choose, those people have to work together, because that's what they're there for. And then remember, the salary ain't gone back down yet. So, so for that money, you should get quality. So regardless, that for me, yeah, it's basically that once the population have chosen, you have to respect that, and then now it's on to the next phase, which is working together for the people. That's what's supposed to be happening.
So what the first issue you would tackle, or the SDA would tackle if they, when they get in?
Well, I could speak for myself. I know that St. Martin Development Movement will look to focus on stability. So definitely, the governing accord with whoever we sign has to lead to stability. It has to lead to stability. That has to tie into the investors' climate that we're trying to create. You know.
Well, the first thing to do is don't sign no agreement at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, well, we already have said that on many interviews already, that we will not be the party that will be signing any government accord at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. We will actually take our time and due diligence to make sure that we get the best for the people of St. Martin. Again, not just to focus on the salary, but the people of St. Martin deserve quality representation. You know, it's very important to focus on the word quality, which means the whole package. Not that you buy it and you still need accessories to come along with it afterwards. You know, we need to look at that, and that's also why we're saying for the people of St. Martin, choose for something different. Then you actually have a chance, regardless of who it is. Even though I might not agree with somebody what they have done in the past, when it's time to put our heads down and get the job done, it's a new phase now. We're in a new moment, and everybody needs to be professional. And I think that a lot of the people are open to that. However, it's up to the people who they're going to choose, and we definitely want to offer them a catalyst for change. That's what we offer, and that's what we're offering them. And it's up to them if they want something different. So you have to respect the democratic right of the voters. They have the right to choose whatever they want, but we have our obligation to offer them something different.
What's your view of the Dutch with regard to the St. Martin government?
I think it's a kingdom, and we're supposed to have equal rights within the partnership. But you know, if you're dealing with European superpowers, I would call, you need to be conscious of the way you have to handle yourself. You know, and that calls in for wisdom, and sometimes people will say experience. Experience plays a role, of course. However, experience alone is not enough. You know, you have to know when to make the right decision at the right time, and that you
gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, yes. Know when to walk away, know when to run.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Kitty got you.
Yes, yes, and it's important that we get that, because I personally was not in disagreement with the protest of the former Prime Minister when it came to the the rejection of the conditions for the aid. However, I also understand that the timing of it, you know, it comes back into wisdom, you know, how you deal with the situation, you know. So, but you know, people make mistakes. Life goes on, but it's a new chance for the voters to get something different. If they really want something different, this is a chance that can come as a blessing in disguise for them to really say, well, all right, guys, let's choose a new direction. And that's also the reason for this captain hat, because I haven't explained that as well.
Yeah, the captain, folks, he got on the hat.
Yes, you will see me wherever I am on the campaign trail with this captain hat on. And the role for the captain's hat is actually because I am a voter, and I will choose the direction where this country is going. As far as the power that I have,
as an
individual, I will choose that direction, and I would not allow myself to be bought or anything in that direction. I understand, I have read, and I choose in a direction. And we want to educate the voters to understand that they are the captains of this ship. You know, the parliamentarians, even though they collect the big salaries, the voters have to remember they are the boss. And we have to also encourage the voters to stand up for themselves and be heard. You know, there's a lot of cries in the community, and I have to say this. I think this is a Dutch trait where people may be suffering with something, but they would not protest. Like on the French side or in the French territories, they have more of a protesting personality, and I think that's something we need to develop on the Dutch side of St. Martin. If we want to bring the country where it needs to go, we need to hear the communities, and they need to be vocal, and we want to hear from them. That's also why on the beginning of our campaign trail, the first thing we was doing was going to the different communities and hearing from the population, what do you want to see from your government? And I've made a list of the things that they want to see, and it's all in the election preparedness kit, which can be downloaded.
So, once again, explain to them how to get to it.
Yes, if you meet up with me, I'll have a couple copies on myself, but it will also be on the Facebook page of the St. Martin Development Movement for download for those that want to know, hey, what kind of laws were passed, what kind of laws were rejected, how much did the parliament cost us, what are the issues that were there before Irma, before 10-10-10 that are still issues now today. You can go down the list. Who was the prime minister? Who was in parliament? Just so you can have the picture for yourself, because it's important to read them not just on opinion. I wouldn't like to tell the voters, don't vote for this person because I don't like them. No, I would tell you, if you don't want to vote for this person, okay, that's your opinion. But if you're going to vote for this person, I would like you to know what they actually did on your behalf. And I would say, look, in 2015, this person was there. In 2013, this person was there. And look, these are the laws that were passed in 2013, 2015.
Do you see yourself being represented in what a person do?
Exactly. And that's the part that St. Martin Development Movement wants to offer the people of St. Martin. Just give you the clarity. Because the thing is, politics can be so confusing to the average man that they would say, you know something, I ain't bothering with it.
But I believe the politicians do that for me.
Yes, but we need to change that mentality, because if we know what they are up to and what they have been doing, we can then hold them accountable on election day. And that's one of the things. If it's anything I get out of this election, is that the people have the information to have a better decision on Monday. It's really important that the voters get to understand what has happened.
But you feel you get enough time because Monday is going there. Because from listening to you here today, this is like a rail you gone right down to come back up. So do you feel you had enough time to convince those people?
You know, it was a snap election. We can't get around that, but it could have been called even earlier. You know, so we are grateful for the time that we did get to campaign, and the people that understand what we stand for, they agree with us. You know, a lot of the voters, when they listen to what we have to say and they understand what we stand for, they're all like, well, you guys need to get in there, man. You guys can make a difference for us. However, we are 5 members, and that's one of the advantages of having 23 people on a list, is you got all of those 23 members, their family and friends out there campaigning, so their message will get out there more than us. Also, they're
But you got, man, come on, man. You got family too, man.
Of course,
you got family, man. Come on, man.
But
you people them from Rambon, countryside, man. Come on, man.
Yes, of course.
Tell them, man.
Of course. The family from Rambo, St. Louis, you know, Claire Domois is my grandmother. You know, Inez Bailey is a great grandmother.
That's right.
From up St. Louis, from town. You know, that's my people. I know where I come from. I know my roots. You know.
Let them know.
Yes, well, the voters, if you didn't know, this is candidate number 5 from the St. Martin Development Movement. My name is Elvis Lewis. I'm 32 years old. It's my first time going up in elections, and I want to offer you something different for a change, and hopefully you see the need for that change, and you say, all right, let me take a chance on the professional group of 5.
You would like for somebody to say, call you a professional or call you young in politics? A young professional. No,
I would like for them to call me a young ambitious local.
Young ambitious local.
Young ambitious local. That's it right there. And if you want to encourage young ambitious locals, you would look at SDM and you would say, hey, these are all ambitious people, and they were not there before. They have not fouled up in any way. It's time for us to give something different a chance.
Well, I got a meeting. In the last meeting in the place where people go and hear the message, or you even get a document directly from you.
Yes. I have to say this. I have to how you say, give this line out there, show this line to get some fish. It's important for the people to understand today, Saturday the 24th of February, we are having a family fun day at the Emilio Wilson Park, going up to St. Peter's from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come out with your family, come out with the kids. You'll have food, drinks, snacks, music, cultural events, bouncy castles, you name it. Come out and have a good time. Meet with the members of the St. Martin Development Movement. If you have any last minute questions, we can have discussions. And just help you be more prepared for election day. That's basically the aim. Give the people an opportunity to make a wise and educated decision. As the election preparedness case says, vote wisely, use wisdom, choose for change.
What would the vote be last one? Because we got to wrap up there now. What the last final word under the Sandbox Tree Special Lazy Bay this morning?
People of St. Martin, the St. Martin Development Movement is a new party, the Great Party. My name is Elvis Lewis, and I'm here to defend whatever is left for the people of St. Martin. As we know, we have been going backwards steadily for a while and been stagnant as well in many areas. If you want something different, let St. Martin Development Movement be your silver lining to improve your quality of life. I thank you.
And use
Number 5
on the SD.
On the SDM slate is the second group on the ballot.
Second group on the ballot.
Right in between the black team and the white team.
Okay. Yeah, you tell them straight. That's it. That mean what it means. It means to split them out. Yeah, that's right. Fall like being between. Well, son of boy, I gotta tell you, you're solid. And I know you know your family. You come from good stock. Not proud to see me a rich man. And I gotta say, listening to you this morning, your man, nothing else. He's very humble in his seat. The boy passed the test with flying colors. And to be honest with you, I wish as a man people would give the opportunity for you to get in there because see in your eye, you're going to do the work. I've seen it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
You know the Orange Country function. That's what I realize. Voila. But he disciplined too. Very humble. Yeah, he very stumpy.